The wind off the Yorkshire moors carried the smell of wet peat and sheep. Emily Harper, 19, walked the mile from the bus stop to Blackthorn Farm with her head down, the way she had since primary school. Her coat was too big, her father's old one, and her boots were patched with duct tape. She kept her eyes on the puddles so she wouldn't have to meet anyone else's. 3 silhouettes waited by the old oak at the crossroads: Jake, Connor, and Riley. Sixth formers who had nothing better to do than remind the village that Emily Harper was still the girl who spoke to animals more than people. "Afternoon, Farmer M," Jake called, voice syrupy with fake cheer. "Got a delivery for you." They had a coil of blue baler twine. Emily's stomach folded in on itself, but she didn't run. Running only made the chase longer. Connor stepped behind her, quick as a stoat. The twine looped her wrists before she could lift them. Riley laughed the way boys do when they pretend something is a joke. Jake shoved her back against the oak's rough trunk. "Hold still, princess. Just want a picture for the group chat." The bark scraped through her coat. Emily's breath came in small, useless puffs. She stared at the ground and counted heartbeats. 1, 2, 3. She had promised herself she would never cry in front of them again. 4, 5. Her phone was in her pocket. She twisted her fingers until the screen lit against her hip. One thumb, trembling, swiped open contacts. She pressed the name at the very top and held the button until the call connected. Jake was fumbling with his own phone when the ringtone cut the air. 3 short military beeps. Emily's voice, small but steady, slipped through the speaker. "Tom, the Oak. Please." The line went dead. Jake snorted. "Who's Tom? Your imaginary boyfriend?" Emily closed her eyes. She pictured her husband's last leave, the way he had knelt in the kitchen to tie her bootlaces because her hands shook after a panic attack. Tom Harper, Delta Force, home for 48 hours every 18 months. He never raised his voice, never hurried. He just fixed things. Connor tightened the knot. "Let's leave her for the crows." They walked away laughing, boots crunching on gravel. The sky bruised purple above the moor. Emily tested the twine. It bit deeper. Cold seeped through her sleeves. She began to shiver, not from the wind. Minutes stretched like hours. Sheep bleated in the distance. A crow landed on a fence post and tilted its head, curious. Then came the low growl of an engine, different from the tractor she knew. A matte black Defender crested the hill, no lights, moving fast. It braked hard beside the oak, stones spitting. The door opened. Tom stepped out in civilian jeans and a faded squadron hoodie, but the way he scanned the lane was pure soldier. His eyes, pale winter blue, found Emily first. The relief in them cracked something open inside her chest. M. One word, soft as thistledown. He crossed the ground in 4 strides. Behind him, the Defender's engine ticked as it cooled. Tom's hands, scarred and steady, worked the knots loose with the same calm he once used to clear a doorway in Helmand. The twine fell away. He rubbed the red marks on her wrists, never breaking eye contact. "You're safe," he said. "Breathe with me." She did. In through the nose, out through the mouth. The moor smelled of rain coming. Headlights flared at the end of the lane. Jake's rust-red Golf, returning for the laugh. Music thumped. The car slowed when the boys saw the Defender, saw Tom. The music cut. 3 doors opened. Jake stepped out first, smirk dying on his face. Tom didn't shout. He simply walked forward until he stood between Emily and the boys. The crow took flight, wings clapping like gunfire. Jake tried bravado. I heard," Tom said. His voice carried the quiet weight of a man who had learned that volume was unnecessary when you meant every word. "You tied my wife to a tree," Connor swallowed. Riley looked at his shoes. Emily stepped beside Tom. Her knees still shook, but her chin lifted. "They've done it before," she said. "Words first, then hands. Today was the twine." Tom's jaw flexed. He reached into his pocket and drew out a small silver badge, an American eagle clutching arrows. He pinned it to Emily's coat, right over her heart. "This is what real strength looks like," he told the boys. "It doesn't need an audience." Jake opened his mouth, closed it. Tom continued, softer now. Every choice you make trains the man you'll become. Today you chose cowardice. Tomorrow you can choose different. He turned to Emily. Walk with me. She slipped her hand into his. They left the boys standing in the cold. Half a mile down the track, Emily spoke. I was scared I'd disappoint you. Quiet little wife, couldn't even... Tom stopped. Rain began, soft as lace. I storm buildings for a living. You storm silence. That's harder. She laughed once, surprised at the sound. Back at the farm, her parents were at market. The kitchen smelled of yesterday's scones. Tom filled the kettle, moving easy in the small space. Emily watched the way his shoulders filled the doorway and felt the Moor tilt back upright. He made tea strong enough to stand a spoon. They sat at the table scarred by 3 generations of Harpers. I have 72 hours, he said. Then I'm wheels up again. Emily traced the badge on her coat. I used to think courage was loud, she said. Turns out it's just showing up. Tom smiled, tired and proud. You showed up today. You called. That was enough. That night the village WhatsApp buzzed. Someone had filmed the oak, the defender, the 3 boys walking home with their heads down. No one posted the video. Instead, a single photo appeared. Emily Harper, damp curls and steady eyes, silver eagle gleaming on her chest. Caption: she needed one call. He crossed an ocean. Jake's mother made him apologize at the farm gate the next morning, voice cracking. Connor brought a hamper of apologies, cheese, chutney, a handwritten note. Riley simply mowed the front lawn without being asked and left before anyone saw. Emily watched from the window. She felt the shift inside her, like frost giving way to crocuses. On Tom's last evening, they walked the moor at twilight. Sheep parted for them like clouds. He carried a rucksack. She carried nothing but the memory of twine. At the crest of Blackthorn Hill, he stopped. I have something for you. From the rucksack, he took a length of soft cotton rope, dyed heather purple. For climbing, he said, not for tying. Emily ran the rope through her fingers. It was light, strong, kind. Below them, the village lights winked on, one by one. Somewhere, 3 boys were learning that cruelty leaves marks on the giver, too. Tom kissed her forehead. You were never quiet, Em. You were listening. That's where courage starts. Years later, when their daughter asked why Mum kept a purple rope coiled on the highest shelf, Emily would smile and say, it reminds me that the strongest thing a person can do is ask for help, and that help always answers when love is on the line. And on windy evenings, if you walk past the old oak at the crossroads, you might see a silver eagle pinned to the bark, catching the last light, a quiet promise that no one stands alone, because every soul, no matter how small the voice, deserves a warrior who will cross the world to hear it. And every bully, no matter how loud, can learn that the measure of a man is not how tightly he binds another, but how gently he sets them free.